Hi.
Welcome to the Cherry Purls podcast. This is episode 66. We are a knitting and spinning podcast coming to you every other week now from right outside New Orleans, Louisiana, and we are so happy that you're here with us today. As you can see, we are fine. We had a lot of people ask us if we were okay after the hurricane. We got a little bit of rain, decent amount of rain, but, no flooding.
Nothing like they thought we were going to get.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky.
So thank you to everybody who checked in on us. We always appreciate that. But in terms of introductions, I am Robin.
I'm Mary.
You can find me as Teenybutton on Instagram and Ravelry, and you can find my Etsy shop, Teenybutton Studio, where I sell hand-dyed yarn.
And on Ravelry, I am Snip and Fool, and on Instagram, I am Cherry Purls Mary.
And we have a podcast group. Cat just jumped off the table, which is why the table just shook. We have a podcast group on Ravelry. It is Cherry Purls Podcast, and it is linked in the bar,
Below?
Yes, the down bar below. That's where you can find all of our show notes for this episode, as well as all previous episodes. And that is also where you can find our knit-along, chatter and finished objects threads. Took me a while to...
And any other things you might want to know.
Yes.
All in the Ravelry group.
So we have a giveaway to announce. Would you like to do that?
Yes. Naomi Knits Designs offered a free pattern giveaway for her Gray Sky shawl. And we told people about it on our last podcast. We closed the entries just before the podcast instead of closing them at midnight. But we drew for a winner, and the winner will receive a free copy of the pattern. And the winner of the giveaway is Rita Knitting. Rita, I'm assuming your name is Rita. We will give your name to Naomi Grace, and she will put the pattern in your Ravelry library.
Yeah, let's read her answer. I find that interesting.
Okay.
So we asked, what yarn would you want to knit the pattern with? And Rita says, it's such a beautiful pattern. I have some aged stash bought in 2009 and 2010, which I've been thinking it's time to use. It's a discontinued base, 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 2% nylon. I love the way Merlot and 14 karat olive look together. The 14 karat olive is more of a gold color than a green.
Oh, that's going to be pretty.
Yeah. So hopefully she'll get it knit up and we can all see what it looks like. But,
yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, congratulations. We're going to contact Naomi. Is that how we're going to do it?
Yeah. She asked that we give her the winner's name, and then she will put the pattern into the winner's Ravelry library.
Cool beans.
So congratulations, and thank you to everybody who entered the giveaway. And Pearl jumped back onto the table, which is why it shook again.
We should lock her out.
You never want to do that. We've talked about that.
Yeah, well, she's going to lay back down, so she's good. Also, thank you to Naomi for donating the pattern. I don't think we mentioned
Yes, thank you also to Naomi for that.
So, we are currently hosting a knit-along, and as of this podcast, we are both finished with our entries, so that's a score for us, because sometimes we don't finish, but that's okay.
We have lots of people talking in the chatter thread, but only one finished object at this point. So right now, it looks like we're having one winner.
Yeah. You win by default.
Yeah. So, but we know that there are a whole bunch of you are working on something, and we know you will have it finished by the end of the month, and we can't wait to see your finished projects.
So it is the Casa Pink Along. Were you about to say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's the Casa Pink Along. You just have to knit a design by the designer Casa Pinka. WIPs will count all WIPs will count.
Doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah. So you just have to finish by September 30th. Yeah.
And post in the finished objects thread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as usual, you have to be a member of the podcast group to win a prize. But we have a prize today that I will show you guys. You ready for this? Ta-da!
It's pink.
So this is from Lynn at Sunshine and Bubblegum. Sunshine and Bubblegum. There it is.
You might bring it a little closer. There you go.
There it is. And it is adorable. Very Casa Pinka colors. Pinkies and yellows. So,
and it's a nice size
very
project
large.
bag.
Yeah. 4 or 5 skeins easy.
Here's a skein in relation to the size of the bag. So,
like a cake, you could fit.
Yeah, you could probably fit at least, I would say 3.
I'm using the same size bag. I think this is a similar size of Lynn's. Yeah.
Okay.
So this right now has 4 in it, no problem. And I have room to put more in here.
So it's a very generous bag.
Yes, so thank you, Lynn. So as of right now, we have this bag, and we also have 2 skeins of yarn. That will be included for our giveaway. We might add more once we get some more finished objects in.
Mm-hmm.
So you could win this. It's so cute. Yay, adorable. So thank you, Lynn. So we have coupon codes, huh?
Yes, we have one coupon code that's currently active, and it is from Kath Thorley. She designs patterns on Ravelry, and she is offering 20% off of her patterns through March of 2018. And the coupon code is Cherry Purls 20. Cherry Purls is all lowercase. If you don't remember that, it will be posted in the show notes.
Yep. So is that all of our administrative?
I think that's it. Yep. Casa Pink Along, pattern giveaway, coupon codes. Check.
Cool. So we have finished objects.
Yes.
Would you like to go first?
No.
Okay.
I'm just like beyond boring.
So it occurred to me as we were getting ready to film, and I went to grab my things, that we were going to podcast yesterday. We're thinking about it. And I'm like, no, let's put it off and I'll have time to block my goldfish memory. But it did not happen because I don't know what happened, but I forgot. So
that's what happened.
Yeah, I forgot. That's what happened. This is my goldfish memory by Casa Pinka. And it is finished. There's the end right there. And by the curly little edge, you can tell it has not been blocked. And actually, I think it goes, not that it really matters, but I think
it goes
this way maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got some wonky something I got to take care of at the bottom there.
It'll block out.
But, yeah. Goldfish Memory by Casa Pinka. And I used 3 colors of Hedgehog Fiber Skinny Singles. The gold color is Fool's Gold. The gray is called Oracle. And the white with speckles is called, is called Pine. So, really enjoyed this knit. It was very interesting. I liked doing all the different techniques. That was fun. And I accidentally did an extra technique because I didn't do this first lace part right. But the second part looks really good. So it's kind of, intentional because every section is different, Does that make sense?
If you didn't do it right, is it because you had a goldfish memory span?
Yeah, because I forgot. I couldn't remember anything more than 3 seconds or whatever they say it is. But I really like it, yeah. And it'll probably block out like
huge,
a lot bigger, yeah. But right now it's like a wrap style shawl, which I've actually never made before, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna wear it. But I guess I'll decide that once I block it.
I see most people wear it much like how you'd wear your other ones. It's just.
Well, I usually wear my shawls like a scarf.
Yeah, that's what they wear, like a scarf.
Yeah, I'll see how it is whenever it blocks out.
It'll block out a lot bigger.
But I'm really happy with it.
It looks great.
I like it. I love Hedgehog. So, very fun. So there is most of it. But it was a fun knit, for sure. Definitely. So that is my only finished object this week. You have 1 or 2?
Yeah, so I had a couple of issues this week. I don't know what was going on actually last 2 weeks. If you watched the last podcast, I had some yarns I had caked up. I was working on the Skipping Dots shawl, and I got probably a third of the way in, maybe almost half, and I just wasn't loving it. So I'm like, okay, I wasn't loving it for a while, but then as I was knitting it, I'm like, I wasn't loving it.
Well, you were having trouble with the colors, and you couldn't figure out what colors you wanted to put where, and
well, what I wanted to do, it was too late to do, and so I'm like, do I rip this out and start over? And I was kind of like having a mind battle, and finally I'm like, you know what, I'm just not loving this enough, so I ripped it out. So then I found a second pattern, and I started on that, and I wasn't loving how the pattern was written. It's one of these patterns to where the designer wants you to keep track of 3 different numbers at the same time.
It's like at the same time, do this.
And yeah. I wasn't really feeling that either. So I ripped that out. But I really want to use these yarns. I really want to do a shawl with these color combinations. So last night, I think I settled on, well, I know I settled on a third shawl pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, third time's the charm.
The Surge by Lisa Much.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to give it a go with. I have not started it yet, but I will start it sometime today. So that's why I don't have anything more than the unfortunate usual. Well, I do have a little bit more to show, but so yeah, baby hats. It's not as bad as it was last week.
You want to knit, but you don't want to concentrate.
Yeah, I want to knit, but my mind wasn't somewhere where I wanted to knit. My mom and my sister live outside of Houston, in Katy, and they obviously were hit with the flood. They had to evacuate, and they didn't know if their house flooded, and so I've just kind of like been stressed about that.
We still don't know, right?
Yeah, they have no idea when they can get back into the subdivision. They evacuated on Monday afternoon when a neighbor came and knocked on the door and said, hey, we're leaving. Do you want to leave with us, so that they would have somebody they could caravan with in case they run into high water or something like that. So that was very grateful for. So they went to a shelter at a high school, and they've now been moved to another location, which is much more comfortable for them, but they have no idea when they're going to be back. So I wasn't really in a mindset to where I can pay attention to a problem, to a pattern. I was paying attention to a problem instead, so I need a lot of baby hats. So it's kind of like a replay of last podcast, but I do have a lot of hats, and I'm excited because these are hats all going to charity. The majority of this, except for this hat, this is all yarn that I received from our good friend Rick. This was some de-stash he had, and so I'm putting it to good use. So I have 3 baby hats in this color, 4 hats in this beautiful kind of purpley plum
like
color.
Raspberry.
Yeah, raspberry.
Yeah.
That's a perfect color. Then, okay, well, these are smaller. That's why I separated them. So these, I think, are 2 to 3 pound preemie, and I think these are 4 to 5 pound preemie size. So there's 3 of these, and then I have 3 of this really pretty darker blue. And then I had some leftover yarn, not enough to make a hat, so I decided to stripe. Cute. And then I had some white that I just had from another project that I made a little bee hat. Another, I guess this was a 2 to 3 pound preemie size. So I think there's 11 hats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, okay, 14 hats. Yeah. My math is always bad. So I have 14 more baby hats to donate for the Into the Wool charity. What's the word? Yeah, this is charity knit along, but I was going to say charity drive for the neonatal unit over in Tennessee.
We have 20 days until we leave.
I know. I'm excited.
I need to get a move on.
Yeah.
I've been keeping up with it, but like, it's a lot of yarn I gotta do. I'd rather have more than not enough, for sure.
You'll be fine. So anyway, that's all I have finished this week. I tried to start a lot of stuff, but
knitting was done. It just didn't stay.
Knitting was done. It's just I wasn't very productive in some areas and very productive in others.
Yeah. A lot of hats. So we're ready to move on to WIPs?
Yep.
I have 3. Would you like me to go first?
Sure. Okay. Because y'all can guess what one of mine is.
So these are my Beaubaton socks, and people have asked me where this bag is from. I've said it before, but it's from Knit Run Dig, and it is a custom bag I had her make. But look at that kitty cat fabric. Looks just like Pearl. So cute.
No, it doesn't. She's not that color.
It looks a little bit like Pearl.
It's a Siamese like Pearl, but
yeah.
Pearl's coloring isn't like
Pearl's
that.
got stripes because she's got to be different.
Because she's Lynx Point.
Yeah. So these are my Beaubaton socks. This is the first one. Come on. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
This is the Hermione's Everyday Pattern by Erica Luter. I'm sure if you're watching this, if you haven't knit it, you've certainly heard of it. But it's a very popular pattern for a very good reason. And I'm having some trouble here. There we go. So I'm almost done with the second sock. So I fold it in half, and then that's where I am. So I knit down about here, and then I start the ribbing. So.
Yeah, this is it. So she knits to where the toe starts, and then the ribbing starts to where she kind of makes them even when she folds them in half.
Yep. So these are my travel knitting right now. But once I finish this, I have another sock that I want to cast on that I'll talk about in a little bit. And then I won't have any travel knitting at all because I'll have 2 complicated socks. I'll have to cast on a third sock. Oh no. Horrible.
Hey, when that happens.
Yeah, so the yarn is Bobaton. It's my own yarn, Teenybutton Studio. And it is in my shimmer base. And the colorway is Bobaton. That's better, right there. But we tried opening the window today. So we're working with natural light and the studio light, but it's still washing everything out.
Yeah,
so.
it is.
There's better pictures on my website. There's better pictures in my Etsy shop. There's better pictures on my Ravelry.
On your project
on
page.
My Instagram. Yeah. So
it's just that it's not showing up great on
it's too pastel.
Video. It's a light color.
Yeah. So that is my first WIP.
You want to do another one, or you want me to?
You got 2, huh?
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
We'll sandwich them. Like make a WIP sandwich.
A WIP sandwich. Okay. So yeah. So in case you haven't guessed, I have another baby hat that's on the needles. I do magic loop. I prefer magic loop most of the time. I like knitting on circulars. If I'm doing adult hats, I usually tend to use 16-inch circulars and then close with DPNs. But I'm going to start trying to remember to do magic loop all the time because quite a few times I have been working on an adult size hat and I'm ready to finish my decreases, and you can only go so far until you have to use DPNs. And when you magic glue, you can go all the way to the very end. So,
speaking of adult hats, did you want to talk about the knit along that we're planning next month right now, or wait a little bit?
No, we can talk about it. Why don't we talk about it in Lanya? Okay. But yeah, we have an idea for a knit along that we're going to do for the month of October. So yeah, first work in progress with the ball ran away, so I've got yarn hanging everywhere.
At least Pearl didn't go after it.
That was good.
All the yarn that Rick gave you it's all acrylic, right?
Yes. The hospital has specified that all the yarn they want for the preemie hats needs to be acrylic because they wash it at a very high temperature and they're going to put it in the dryer, so it needs to be washable and dryable. So if you ever do any charity knitting, you might want to check with the place that you want to donate to see if they have any yarn requirements. A lot of places don't, but certain places do, and in this case, they definitely have a requirement. So, all right.
Cool. So I got 2 more WIPs, and they're actually very similar, which is a funny circumstance. Yes, thank you. So this is in my bag that we showed last week from Tiffany, which, she said she was going to open her Etsy store today. Was it today?
I'm not sure if it's
early September.
She's hoping to get it up beginning of the month.
Yeah, well, it's Sweet Sparrow Handmade. It'll be linked in the show notes.
Well, when we're sure she's up.
Yeah, when we're sure.
If she's up by the time the podcast is up, we will link her in the show notes. If not, we will wait until she is up.
Yeah.
But
I'll put something on the bottom of the screen here. I'll look it up whenever I edit it, so y'all will know what's going on.
Or you can check show notes.
Yeah, so anyway, adorable bag. So this is my Meandering Shawl by Stephen West.
So it's starting to meander a little bit.
It is. That's actually the wrong side.
I know, but didn't we
But
decide,
I like it better, yeah.
Because this is technically the right side.
Yeah.
But we both talked about how we really liked how the lighter color is more prominent.
Yeah.
So I'll let you talk about it.
Oh,
it's not mine.
Yeah. So Stephen West, Meandering Shawl. Obviously, it is brioche, and it was an interesting cast on. It's a kind of like a garter tab, but with brioche. I'm not going to give it away because it is a paid pattern, and it's knit with fingering and DK.
So your fingering is
it's Teenybutton Studio. That is
in front of your face.
That is soft sock. The colorway is Bourbon and Boudin, which is a new colorway.
All right. And then
got it?
Yeah, I just wanted to
this is
look prettier.
Squish DK.
Wait.
And squish DK base, and the color is chicory. So, ooh, like Vanna.
Touching your chin. I'm a 2-year-old.
So, I think the wrong side looks so much better.
I think it's really pretty. I wish, and maybe he did. I wished he had said, "Hey, if you're doing a dark and a light."
Well, his dark and light were reversed. Pearl.
Oh, she sees
There's a
something
bird in the
outside
window. I think I'm gonna kick her out. Hang on 1 second, guys. Okay.
Pearl has been evicted.
Pearl has been evicted. Poor Pearl. So, totally forgot what I was saying.
You were saying that his colors are reversed
yes,
or something?
His colors, the DK is the lighter color.
So I guess that's something you need to pay attention to when you're doing brioche.
Yeah.
In terms of you want to have the lighter color in the front.
Well, no, it's reversible. But because the DK is so much thicker, it takes up a lot more of the space than the fingering.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't look bad on the right side.
No, not at all. But you have it really stretched out a lot more, whereas this you don't need to really stretch it out to see how the colors play.
Yeah. So there's no rules. I'm going to wear it however I want to wear it. If I want to wear it backwards, then I'll wear it backwards.
Yeah.
But I really like the pattern. It's really intuitive. And it's making an escape. But I really like it. So that is the other thing I've been working on. I have one more thing, actually.
So my other work in progress, I haven't shown it in a while, is my granny stripe blanket. Let me turn it this way. So, so here's one edge. And then there's the other edge. And the last time I showed it was right here. So I usually put a marker when I showed it last time. So I've knit this much. And it has gotten long. So I don't even think you can see the bottom of it. There we go. So that's how long the blanket is. I started it in January, and I have absolutely loved working on this. It has been something, when I need something mindless, I'll either, if I feel like crochet, I go to this. If I feel like mindless knitting, that's when I go to my hats. And I've really enjoyed it, and I thought I would just kind of give you an update on where I was with it. Yeah. So this is knit in
it's got a nice weight to it.
Yeah, it does. This is knit in fingering bits and bobs. Some of it is my yarn that I've used in my projects. Some I've gotten from Robin. The pattern that I'm using is the Granny Stripe Blanket pattern by... Where is it? Oh, there it is, by Megan Johnson. It's very similar to the Attic 24 one, except when I'm finished about the size I want to make it a little bit wider. And so there'll be an additional border that goes all the way around, but it's done, it changes direction. Kind of like a frame. So that's why I wasn't using the Attic 24 one, because I wanted to put the little bit of edging on it. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what length I want it. I'll just keep crocheting on it until that looks good to me. So that's where I am on my blanket.
Cool. It's cute. I really like it. It's got a lot of pink and green in it.
Yeah. I like I said, I love it.
Yeah. I kind of want to start one, but
you have your Minder Square blanket.
Yeah.
You haven't worked on that in a while, have you?
No, just haven't felt like it.
Sure. No, it's got to be what you're feeling for sure.
So, my next WIP is the What the Fade Mystery Knit Along by Andrea Mowry. So if you are knitting it, there will be spoilers ahead. So look away. And this is actually my 4th attempt at this shawl. So I had to restart it a bunch of times because my colors were off and I'm not using the yarn that I intended to use. So I had dyed up a bunch of kits and I really love the colors that I dyed up. And so I dyed myself a set, but I did it on my I did it on my solo single base, which doesn't take color the same as soft sock does. So the colors weren't quite how I wanted. So I think I'm going to wait until the knit along is over, and then see how the colors play together and see what colors I want to put where, and then use that yarn for that. But I still wanted to do the mystery bit of the mystery knit along. So I pulled from my stash a little impromptu fade. So I don't have all 6 colors. I just have the first 4 that you use. So this first one is Hedgehog Fibers sock. So whatever their sock base is.
I think it's sock.
Yeah, and it's in Birthday Cake. And I will say this yarn is splitty as hell, and I do not like it. So just a heads up. I love their twist sock, the BFL one, whatever the BFL one is, and I love skinny singles, but I do not like this base.
See, I don't find it splitty.
Do not like it. Maybe I'll trade you for the rest of the sock in my stash.
Because I've knit with the sock before, and I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. My second color, this is yarn from Creative Spark Yarns, and I actually don't have the ball band because Pearl was playing with it. Blueberry something. I feel horrible that I don't have the ball band. I'm sorry. But it's gorgeous.
Oh, it is pretty.
And then I have another color. Actually, I think the next color is Heyday Crybaby by Hedgehog Fibers. And then the color after that, this is my color D. This is Night Owl Twisted Owl Studio? Twisted Owl?
I think it's Twisted Owl.
Twisted Owl. And again, I don't have the ball band because Pearl had a party. I think the color is Linus, I think.
It'll be on your project page?
Yeah, so I need to add it to my project page once I find the ball band. The next color after that, this is Brazen Stitchery. It's their paparazzi sock, and the colorway is Whiz Bangs, which is really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last color is actually a gray kind of tonal that I do not have a ball band for. I don't know where it came from. I think it came from a Get Your Yarn Wishes granted, but the person didn't have the ball band. So it's a mystery yarn, but I know it's wool. So this is what I have so far. So spoilers. Oops. So it's got an I-cord edge, which I love, love, love I-cord edges. And it's very similar to the meandering shawl.
At least at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like angling like the meandering shawl is, but it is similar increases. I guess there's only one way to do increases in brioche. I don't know.
Don't do brioche.
But it's very pretty. I like the colors together. There's the wrong side. But the colors I was using with my own yarn were too close, and it was hard for me to tell which ones were the yarn overs and which ones were the actual stitches, because whenever you do brioche, that's how you do it. You yarn over every other stitch, kind of. And I was messing up, and it was just too much for me to
You need more of a contrast between the two colors.
Yeah, so this is still relatively low contrast, but I can tell because one is, this minty kind of oranges and blues.
And then this is the other. So yeah. That's enough contrast.
So that is what I have so far. My little pizzas from the Gnome Knitter. So cute. So that's what I have so far. And I feel really bad because I posted in the What the Fade spoilers thread, and I asked people, how should I rearrange these? And so people gave me a lot of good suggestions, but I didn't follow any of them because I'm just going to wait.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't do mystery knit-alongs, because I want to know how if I'm going to put the time into it, I want to know that I'm going to really like it, and I'm going to like where I end up putting my colors.
Yeah, well, Andrea Mowry actually commented, I really like how she's like actually in the thread talking to people. I know some knit-along hosts don't always have the time to do that, but I really appreciate that she does. And she actually said it's okay to leave it. She liked the way that it looked, but I just wasn't feeling it. So she said, follow your heart, but it should be fine if you leave it. But I followed my heart and I cast on with other yarn. So that is what I have so far. And the first clue looks like it goes a decent amount. I know there's 10 repeats, 8 or 10 repeats, something like that. And then you change the colors somehow. But I'm not there yet because I just cast this on. I actually cast on the second the clue was released. I caked up my yarn and I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And it was like 1 a.m. and I was so frustrated. So I ripped out and cast on twice yesterday, and I'm like, I can't do this. So then I cast on last night with this yarn.
Maybe that's something going on in the house. We're just not loving the yarn combinations with the pattern.
Yeah, what's up with that?
We really want to knit the pattern, or we really want to use the yarn, but we're not able to mesh the two together in a way that makes us happy. Yeah. So now that we've talked about that, we'll move on to Lanyap. And we had a couple of things we wanted to talk about in Lanyap. The first of which is earlier I talked about all the flooding and the craziness that went on with Harvey in Texas. Some good friends of mine have put together a Ravelry group to try to connect knitters who have stash they would like to share with knitters who have lost their stash or maybe don't have access to their stash for a while. The group is called Knit Two Together, and is it
Knit Two Together for Texas?
Well, I'm not quite sure. The banner says Knit Two Together, and then the title of the group is Knit Two Together for Texas. So I'm not sure if they're only going to stay focused on Texas, or if it's going to branch out in whenever there are other disasters where knitters want to help knitters. But it is a group where they're going to...
Yeah, it's Knit Two Together for Texas is the official name of the group.
Yes.
If you want to find out on Ravelry.
And I will link to the group in the show notes. But basically what they're... the theory is that they want to match somebody who's willing to donate with someone who needs some yarn or project bags or anything knitting related. And there was some talk about maybe some other crafty types of things. I'm not sure if they're going to go that route or not, but there'll be information on that in the Ravelry group. And there are, if you are someone who would like to donate, there is a Google document to fill out where you can let them know that you are happy to send a donation to someone in need. And then if you are someone who has lost their stash, there is a Google Doc for you to fill out so that somebody can be matched with you and hopefully, bring some yarn back into your life. So I think this is a wonderful cause. I know that there were a lot of people who lost yarn whenever we had the floods a year ago up in Baton Rouge and Denham area. And we just, so many of us went through Katrina, and we remember how much people were there to lend a helping hand whenever we were struggling. That our first thought is we were more than happy to, lend a hand when someone else is, because we understand what the struggle is. So if you're interested, go on over to the Ravelry group, then we'll link to it, Knit Two Together for Texas.
I'll put it in the down bar here.
And you can go over there and see what it's about.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think the Lemonade Shop is also doing something along the same lines.
Yeah, and there are a lot of designers and indie dyers, and I think WIP's was doing something where people are having sales and donating all or some of their profits to the Harvey relief. So I just want, and I know y'all know this, I just want people to be careful whenever you do make a donation that it's something legitimate, because there are some really scummy people that come out in times like these and try to scam people, and it's unfortunate. Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox now.
Well, actually, are we going to talk about our knit along? Because you can stay on your soapbox.
Oh, okay. I can get back on my soapbox. Okay. Yeah, it must be Soapbox Mary time.
Soapbox Mary.
So, this is September 1st. Next month will be, as I call it, Pinktober. A lot of people will do something, October's Breast Cancer Month, and so you'll be hit in the face with all sorts of pink things and breast cancer things and all that. It's wonderful. I am a breast cancer survivor myself. I probably, so many things have...
We have a family history. We have a lot of people in our family affected by it.
Yeah, so it's something that's definitely in our lives, but and because of the money that's been donated, I'm sure that has helped in my prognosis and my progress with things. But again, be very cautionary as to who you donate to. There are a lot of companies out there that are using it as marketing ploys.
Absolutely.
They're like, they turn things pink, or they'll put a pink ribbon on it, and you think that they're going to donate a lot of money to this cause, but sometimes it's an amazingly small amount that actually gets sent on, and really it's a huge profits for them.
What I'm thinking is I'm thinking of the fracking company that put a pink drill bit on the end of their fracking equipment, and they're like, oh, breast cancer awareness, and it turns out that the chemicals they use to frack cause cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's obviously just, an emotional ploy, to toy with your emotions.
They are totally dealing with your emotions, and there are some websites who call people out on this, and as it gets closer to October, I'll probably link to those or put links to those in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Robin and I were talking. This was Robin's idea, and I think it's really, really an amazing idea. But what we are planning is for the month of October, we're going to do a knit-along. I'm not sure, did we have an idea?
Well, I like the idea of the think before you pink along.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's copyrighted because that's a website or...
Yeah, there is a website called that. So we haven't really come up with a name yet. But basically what we would like to do for the month of October, and the reason why we're telling you about it now is if you're interested in doing it, maybe you can do some little background researches on what you'd like to do and where you'd like to donate. So during the month, we're asking that you knit something or crochet something or sew something, whatever you feel like doing, that could go towards helping someone who is undergoing treatment for cancer. You can do hats. You can do what they call tidbits or knitted knockers for breast cancer people. You could do prayer shawls. You could do blankets, lap quilts for people if you're a sewer.
We're not restricting it to breast cancer, right?
No, it's any cancer.
Yeah.
Someone going through chemo for any kind of treatment, they lose their hair. And a lot of people think of, hey, let's knit a hat because it's cold outside. But when you have no hair, it's also cold when you're sleeping. That was something that really hit me, that I didn't think about it until I had no hair. That, my head is really cold at night, and I don't sleep with a blanket over my head.
Yeah.
So I had to knit a cotton hat because I didn't want to be all sweaty when I was sleeping, something, that I could wear when I was sleeping.
Well, I think it's important, too, because this way, you see the impact on your community, and you're helping, not that by donating money you're not helping actual people, but,
Absolutely.
This is something that, people overlook, the hats, and, and both of us kind of got our start back into knitting, because of your cancer diagnosis and Jonathan's cancer diagnosis.
Absolutely, yes.
So it kind of feels like it's coming full circle, and it feels like it's just important. I mean, there's something special, especially whenever you're going through one of the worst times in your life, to receive something handmade and to know that somebody's thinking about you and cares enough about you to spend the time making something. So absolutely donate money if you wish. Just, make sure to do your research on who you donate money to, because Susan G. Komen and some of those organizations are very shady. We'll post links about that as it gets closer. But this is about, making an impact in your community and helping, actual people who are living with, with this diagnosis.
Yeah,
that's the idea.
We're just giving you heads up, just so you want to maybe if there's a cancer center in your neighborhood, or if there's some place where you go to the doctor and they also have an oncology unit, that's kind of how I do it. My doctor's office, for all my doctors, the oncologist is there also. So sometimes if I have some has to donate, while I'm going to see one doctor, I swing by over there, or leave them at the front desk and say, hey, I've got hats to bring back to oncology for the patients that are doing chemo. And
are we going to accept hats from people?
Yes. If someone doesn't have some place to donate to, they're more than welcome to send them to us, and we'll be happy to give the address out to anybody who sends us a private message, because we do have resources here and people we can send to. But as it gets closer, we'll also put in some links to some places you can send to, because there are groups called Knitted Knockers where you can send to, and they'll send it out all over the country. Yeah. And there are other groups that that do those kinds of things. So, we just wanted to give you a little heads up. This is something we're planning. It'll just be for the month of October. We
will draw prizes, right?
Yeah, we're going to do prizes. I'm not really sure exactly all the things, but we just kind of wanted to let you know a little early, just in case you wanted to kind of start giving it some thought.
So, cool. We're going to get off the
now I'm off the soapbox.
Okay.
Let me sit down.
I think that's all we have in terms of knitting and podcast
that's
content.
it. Now we just got shop update.
Yeah, so I have some shop update things to show you. So if you're interested, stick around. And if you are not, then feel free to leave. Thank you for watching up until this point. So it is the 1st, and it is also Friday, which means that there is a new Harry Potter Club color being released into the shop. There is a new Harry Potter Skein of the Month Mystery Club slot open, and I will be showing you the Skein of the Month colorway for August. So let's do that first. So this, spoilers, I think most people have received theirs.
If you haven't, look away.
Yes, so this is the August colorway, and it is called Mulligrubs, and it is based on an illustration that I'm not going to go grab because I'm lazy, but it's the illustration in the illustrated version of the Sorcerer's Stone. It's a 2-page spread, and it's diagonally, basically. And it's just, it's so beautiful. I love Jim Kay's illustrations. If you haven't picked up the illustrated copies of Harry Potter, they have the first book, the second book, and then The Prisoner of Azkaban is going to be released next month. And I'm so excited. I'm thinking about pre-ordering it from Amazon if they do that. But Mulligrubs is based on the illustration of Diagon Alley, and it's based on a particular shop that they show, which actually they don't talk about in the books. But it is Mulligrubs, Materia Medica. So it's an herbalist shop in Diagon Alley. So it is very tonal. It's got pops of blue for the awning for the Mulligrubs shop. There's some red and some green tones. Where's the green? Oh, the green isn't showing up very well, is it? I promise that's green.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
So this is my skein on Tough Sock. I'm actually going to be using this for a pair of socks, which is probably going to be my next cast on. But as usual, this color will be released into the shop in November. So I'm really happy with it. I really love this color. I tried a very new technique to me, technique, and I really, really love it. So it's actually showing up lighter than it really is. So if you got a skein of this and you're like, that doesn't look anything like my skein, it's because of the lighting. But it's still very pretty. Mm-hmm. So that is the colorway for August. September colorways will be going out soon, I hope. I'm waiting on a yarn order to come in, but I have about half of them finished. And then October slots open this morning, and I already have a bunch of people who have bought them, so thank you very much. I also have 3-month subscriptions for those who want October, November, and December and don't want to have to come back every month to order. The only catch with that is that all of your skeins have to be the same base. So I have some people who do like soft 1 month, shimmer 1 month, tough 1 month. But some people order the same base every time. So this is more for them. If you just want soft sock until the end of the year, that's for you. Also, I don't have the, excuse me, the inspiration photos for November and December yet. So those are just going to have to be a mystery. Partly because the one for November is going to come from the new Harry Potter book. So it's just a mystery, if that's what you want. So I have a regular shop update planned for this afternoon in an hour and a half, which is very soon, but I'm all done. I'm all ready. I just need to hit go. So I have a brand new Harry Potter colorway for the shop. This one, which is called Spectra Specs, and is based off of Luna Lovegood, and it is, whoa, that is washed out.
It is.
Wow.
Further back it is, the better.
That is a lot better.
Yeah.
This is how it looks. It's got some peach, some orange, some gold, pinks, purples, and blues, and it is based off of Luna Lovegood's Spectra Spec glasses from the 5th book. And I was actually looking at it, and it would be a fantastic companion skein to the September Club of the Month if you have ordered that. I think they would look really good together. Maybe in a brioche. They don't have a high contrast, so maybe a brioche project would be better, not necessarily like a 2-color shawl or something. But I'll be dyeing this again, so once you receive your skein, you can decide then. But keep holding it close so you can see the detail, but you can't see the detail because it's washed out. But I will have this on soft sock and on shimmer sock. I will also have Magical Me, which I've dyed before. This time I have it on a bunch of different bases. This one is on silky sock, which is 80/20 superwash merino and silk. And that's pretty good. And it's got a nice twist to it. I really like this base. I actually want a whole sweater out of this base in maybe in Mausoleum.
I like this right here.
Yeah, that part's really fun.
Oh, look how pretty that is.
Yeah. Ugh. So, actually, my skein of Spectra Spec that I stole from the shop is in this vase. So, it's the best.
So, are you stealing from yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I have it on Silky Sock, I have it on Lush Sock, which is my MCN base, I have it on Soft Sock, and I have it on Solo Singles. So, a lot of Magical Me. I have Elop's Owl Emporium, which is an oldie but a goodie. I have it on Shimmer and on Tough Sock. And I will also have the two colorways I showed earlier. I have Chicory and Boudin and Bourbon and Boudin. I get them mixed up sometimes, but it's Bourbon and Boudin. So these are both on Tough Sock. No, they aren't. This one's on Soft Sock. This one's on Tough Sock. But I do have pairings. I have both of these on Soft, Tough, and on Solo Singles. So that's those two together. And then I will also have little assorted skeins. I'll have some Hagrid's Umbrella. I will have, sorry, I just got distracted. My brother just pulled in the driveway. Hagrid's Umbrella. I will have a couple skeins of Skelegro, which I think is the last of the batch. I'm not sure if I'm going to be dyeing it again because it's a very complicated colorway. And then I'll have some assorted skeins. I'll have Oak Street and Sally's Pralines, or Pralines, pardon me, and Mausoleum all on Silky Sock. And then last but not least, this is the Harry Potter skein of the month for May of this year. It is called Radish Earrings.
And so now it is available in the shop.
And now it is being released into the wild, or into the shop, I guess. It was released into the wild in May. This is into the shop for public consumption.
You have a hair on your arm that every time you move your arm back and forth, it hits me and it's driving me nuts.
Sorry. So it is red for Luna Lovegood's dirigible plum earrings, gold for her hair, purple for the Spectra Spec glasses, and then navy and bronze for Ravenclaw House colors. So I only have this on Soft and Tough Sock at the moment. I only have a limited number of skeins because I didn't dye any. This is just the leftovers from the batch I dyed in May. So if you want it, snap it up because I don't know if I'm going to be dyeing it again because I have show dyeing to do. So
it'll be a while.
It'll be a while, yeah. So that's what's all going into the shop tonight. I think there's about 40 skeins, so there's a pretty good assortment. So I think that's all we have this week. Is that correct?
I think so.
Okay, so thank you for watching as usual. If you come back and watch us every time, we really appreciate it. And thank you to all new viewers. And we will see y'all in 2 weeks. All right, bye guys.
Bye everyone.